Have you ever seen the police too scared to enter someone's house? My neighbor Lisa was the kind of person who made everyone uncomfortable. She worked from home, never came to block parties, and had these thick blackout curtains covering every window in her house. When people tried to talk to her, she'd give short answers and practically run back inside. Everyone on the street had theories about what her deal was, but nobody really knew anything about her except that she clearly wanted to be left alone. The strangers started showing up around 6 months after she moved in, always between midnight and 4 in the morning. At first it was 1 or 2 people a week, then it became every single night, sometimes 5 or 6 different cars pulling up in the dark. I'd see them from my bedroom window because I'm a light sleeper, and headlights always woke me up. They'd knock quietly, she'd let them in, and sometimes they'd leave after a bit, but other times the cars would still be there in the morning. It was like clockwork, and it was obvious something shady was going on. Other neighbors noticed too, and the Nextdoor app absolutely exploded with speculation. "She's obviously selling drugs," Mary down the street posted. "No, she's definitely running some kind of cult in there," Mr. Jenkins replied. Then one night I heard what sounded like a woman crying through Lisa's walls, just this gut-wrenching sobbing that went on for almost an hour. A few nights later, someone else heard children crying at 2 in the morning. That's when someone on our street finally called a tip line saying they suspected trafficking or hostages or something worse happening in that house. I was looking out my window when 4 patrol cars rolled up with their lights off at 3 in the morning. 6 officers got out with their hands on their weapons and spread out around Lisa's house like they were expecting a fight. One cop got on a megaphone and his voice shattered the silence. "This is the police! Everyone needs to come outside with their hands up!" Lights started turning on in houses up and down the street, but Lisa's door didn't open. The cop repeated the command louder and added, "We know you're in there. Come out or we'll break down the door." Still nothing, just movement through the tiny gaps in her blackout curtains. The officers drew their weapons and took positions behind their cars. "This is your final warning. Open the door now or we're coming in." One cop moved toward the door with a battering ram to break it down. I heard a little kid's voice screaming and crying inside the house, then another. There were multiple voices screaming and crying in complete chaos. Every single neighbor was outside watching at this point. The door finally opened and Lisa stumbled out with her hands up, sobbing so hard she could barely breathe. 2 officers immediately grabbed her and forced her down onto her porch while she screamed, "Please don't go in there, you're going to terrify them." 3 officers stormed inside with their weapons raised, while Lisa was face down begging them to stop. For about 10 seconds there was complete silence, and then I heard one of the cops shout to his partners, "Everyone put the guns down right now!" The officers came back out looking absolutely stunned and helped Lisa up. What they found inside were 6 women and 3 kids with trash bags full of clothes and terror on their faces. One woman had a black eye that makeup couldn't cover, and another had bruises in the shape of fingerprints on her arms. "What's going on here?" asked one of the officers, and Lisa could barely get the words out. "I run a network for people escaping domestic violence. They come at night because it's the only time they can leave without their abusers noticing. I help them find transportation and places to stay so they can get to shelters in other states. Some of them just need a safe place to sleep for 1 night before moving on, and some need help figuring out how to disappear completely." The officer who'd been ready to break down her door looked shocked. "Why didn't you tell me earlier?" Lisa looked right at him with tears streaming down her face. "Some of these women are running from cops, from judges, from people with power. I never know who I can trust. Now when cars pull up at midnight, everyone on the street leaves their porch lights on so the women know someone's watching out for them."